Hello everybody, welcome back to a new video. So today I thought I would do a books I'm unhauling. I have been having obviously like an end of the year clear out, sort of going through the books that I currently have and seeing which books I want to get rid of, donate, whatever, to make room for new books that I've got. So I think I will be doing like a sort of new books or book haul after this video. But I got a lot like for Christmas and stuff, so I needed to have a clear out, I needed to have a refresh anyway, because going into 2025 one of my goals is to read books that I love. I'm hoping to move out next year, so I want to kind of like minimize my book collection anyway and only truly keep books that I absolutely love and would recommend and want to reread. Like when I move out, I hopefully want to have a little designated book room, fingers crossed, and I want that to be full of books that I'm just obsessed with and love. So I'm donating to friends, family, charity, whoever, the ones that I don't necessarily love. And I thought I would just show you some of the books that I am getting rid of. Obviously this is no hate to the authors, no hate to the book, no hate to you if you like the book. They're just books that I personally didn't love, or even some of them like I really did enjoy, but I'm just making room for more on my bookshelves. So I'm gonna stop talking and let's get into it. I have got quite a lot of books here. A lot of them are romance because that is what I read the majority of. So we do have a lot of romance ones to get through. I might start with the ones that aren't romance actually, get them out of the way. I have the Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy. I do have the first book, but I think that is currently like my mum or somebody is reading it, or my nana. I loved these books so much, but I think I'm just going to donate them along to my mum. Like I said, I'm sure she's reading the first book, or maybe my nana. I think my nana might have read them actually and have somehow got back to my mum. So I'm gonna give her the next two in the series. Loved this series so much. I just don't think it's something that I'm gonna go back and read again, like now that the TV show is out and everything. So I'm gonna be getting rid of these, but I loved this series. Like I feel like I can't say that enough. I'm not getting rid of these because I don't like it. I just don't really have a purpose for it anymore, and they are quite big books. Like they take up a big chunk of my bookshelf. I don't have very much storage in this room. Like I have my favourite books sort of dotted around, and then I have a book cart which is a mix of my TBR and books that I've already read because I don't have the storage. So we are getting rid of, it will be all three of these, but I currently only have these two. I will also, I think, be putting some of these books on my Vinted too, so if you do want to pick them up, I will be selling them for so cheap, so please do go out and check that out. I will either pop it on screen or leave it linked down below. One that I actually have not read, which is quite bad of me, is Just Kids by Patti Smith. This one I'm a little bit undecided about because I think that I will really enjoy this. I just for some reason have never been drawn towards it. I think this has been on my TBR for about 2 years and I'm just not, I don't know what it is about it. I think maybe I will keep this one actually and see if I do read it, but if I don't read it by like March or something, then I'll get rid of it. But it's just been on my TBR for so long. I don't naturally gravitate towards like memoirs or autobiographies, so maybe I'll listen to the audiobook of this because I do tend to prefer that, and donate the physical copy. Another two that borderline pain me to get rid of are the hardbacks of Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. I have recently picked up the paperbacks of both of these, and for me it just wasn't a series that I say a series, I have only read Fourth Wing, I have not got around to reading Iron Flame yet, but for me this is a book that I enjoyed but didn't absolutely love, so I don't want to keep the hardback and the paperback, and I'm also a hardback hater, so I personally would only keep hardbacks that I absolutely adored. Like for having two copies, like I said, I'm trying to cut back on space, trying to cut back on the books that I do keep in my collection and only keep those that I really love. So for me, these two haven't made the cut now that I have the paperbacks. They're just huge and I don't generally like hardbacks. So that is annoying because I do love these. Like I think the covers and everything are so gorge and they do look nice. They just take up so much space. I do have a few arcs that have been sent. I don't know if I want to show these really, just because I kind of feel bad, but some of them I've read, some of them I haven't. Obviously I'm not going to sell these because I was sent these, but these will be getting donated to friends and family probably. They are all romance I believe, so they will be going in the donation pile. This one is not to donate, it is to give back to my friend. I have not read this. and I've had it for a while, so this is going back to her home. So all the rest of the books are romance, so I do apologise if you are not a romance girly, this might get quite boring. I have Seven Summers by Paige Toon. This was my first Paige Toon book and I just didn't love it. Like, I enjoyed it, but it's not something that I would think about that I want to reread at all. So this one is, she's going in the donation pile. Then I have A Thousand Boy Kisses. This one I read last month, I think it was, and didn't love it. This book annoyed me. Like, I wasn't a fan. So she's going in the donation pile. I will not be reading the sequel, the second book to this, I don't think. Well, I know that I probably won't pick it up. It's just not something that I think I need to read, to be honest. And this one can make her way off my shelf. Then I have The Bodyguard by Catherine Centre. This one for me, I enjoyed. It was enjoyable. But again, like, I'm just not going to think about it. I'm not going to have an urge to reread it. I would recommend it for like a cutesy, easy to read rom-com. But like, I don't need it on my shelf really. And I think this would be better utilised by somebody else. There is going to be a running theme here of me saying that exact thing for every single book, because a lot of them I don't have anything against them, it's just that I personally don't need them. Then I have quite a lot of like festive or spooky sort of reads. A lot of these I actually really did enjoy, but now that it's sort of obviously past the season and I've read them, I don't necessarily need to keep them or read them again. Like, I would only really use them for like content purposes now, but it's kind of like, well, I've already used them. Next year I'll be reading different ones, so I don't need to keep them necessarily. So I have got the X-Hex and the Kiss Curse by Erin Sterling. These two I actually really enjoyed. I loved these as far as like a spooky romance goes. But again, sort of similar to what I'd said, like, I'm not going to keep them, I'm not going to read them again. So they can go to somebody else. Then I have The Witch is Back by Sophie H. Morgan. Again, another spooky read. Didn't love this one as much as like other ones that I have read, but I just think this would be good for somebody else. I did enjoy it, but I'm never going to go back and read it again. I don't need to use it for content or anything like that. Same sort of thing with My Roommate is a Vampire. I might actually see if my nail lady wants this, because I know that she had mentioned about reading it, so I'm going to see if she maybe wants this one. I did really enjoy this one, but I don't think I would rush to pick up the second book unless obviously it was at Halloween, so I don't necessarily need this one in order to read that or like keep them. The last spooky one that I have is Happy Medium by Sarah Adler. Again, enjoyed this, very easy to read, cute rom-com, spooky vibes. I'm just going to repeat myself by saying I'm not going to go back and read this again, and I feel like this would be better used on somebody else's shelf. I feel like romances in general, I am only trying to keep ones that I feel very deeply connected to, love the characters, love the story. And for me, like festive, Christmas, spooky sort of romances never seem to be very highly rated for me, and I'm never going to go back and reread them because there's always new ones coming out. Then I have 3 Christmassy ones. So I have A Merry Little Meet Cute, which I did read this year. I actually really enjoyed this one, but the same sort of thing as what I've just said, like, I'm not going to go back and reread it. I don't know, I just like wouldn't gravitate towards picking this one up literally ever again, because there are so many other Christmas holiday romances that I could read. Then I have the Christmas Bookshop. Very cozy, I just didn't enjoy it, so I feel like this would be a good one for like my mum or my nana to read. And then I have Just Like Magic by Sarah Hogel. I actually didn't read this one, so I don't know whether to keep this on my TBR for next year or whether to just get rid of it, because I've had it 2 Christmases in a row now and I just haven't gravitated towards it. So I don't know whether to keep this one or if it is just taking up room on my bookshelf and I'm never going to get around to it. So this one's maybe, it's undecided. Then one that I actually haven't read but I just don't have a pull to read is Once More with Feeling by Alyssa Sussman. I think I received this in like a PR box or a book sort of like subscription package thingy, but I am pretty sure that Sarah, Hayley and Destiny all rated this like a 1 star, and I think I saw their reviews right around the time that I received this and it kind of put me off a little bit, which it shouldn't. But even like reading the back, I just do not feel pulled in by this. Like, I don't know. I have kind of in general gone off cutesy rom-coms. I think since reading like the Magnolia Park series, the Boys of Tommen series, and feeling like so deeply connected to those characters and invested in their love story and the couples and everything like that. Like these sort of romances don't hit as hard for me now, which is unfortunate, but it's whatever. And I'm kind of like, if I'm not gonna love a book, I don't necessarily want to read it, and I just don't think that I will about this. Obviously I could be so wrong, but that is a risk that I'm willing to take. Then I have The Roughest Draft. This one I read on holiday this year, I think. I just didn't love it. Like, again, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I'm never gonna go back and reread this, and I just feel like somebody else would enjoy this so much more than me. I just didn't necessarily buy the couple in this one. I didn't love them, I didn't feel invested, and I was almost a little bit bored. Very similar vibes to this one actually. Like, I honestly just felt like I was just... my boarding pass for when I went to Koh Samui has just fallen out of it, because I did read this when I was in Thailand. That's cute, she's going in my scrapbook. But yeah, I felt like I read this and was just like racing to the end, but because I wanted the book to be over, not because I was enjoying it. I could barely tell you anything about this apart from that it takes place on a ranch, so not a huge fan, I'm afraid. And the last one that I have is A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime. This book I actually really enjoyed when I was reading it. I think I rated it quite high, but I have never gravitated towards picking up any of the other books in this universe, in this world. It's the only book that I've read by this author, and like I say, I've never been like, oh my god, I need to read more by her, I need to read more in this series. So I think if I'm not... I do like to keep a full series, or like if I have different books by the same author, but obviously I'm not overly fussed on picking up any more by her, so I feel like this one, it's time for this one to go. But they are all of the books that I am unhauling in 2024 to make room for more books in 2025. As I said, I will be popping a few up on my Vinted, so I mean, go check that out if you do want to, if you want to get your hands on any of those. And stay tuned for the book haul to see all of the new books that I have been making room for. I might do like a what's on my physical TBR for 2025 video too, so you can see the books that I am keeping and the books that I intend to read in 2025. But thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.